What the?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone.
No,
Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. The good old bucket. Just
Yes.
Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley.
There we go. Here we go. There we go. We got it. In the elevator. Wow. This is the vibe, guys. It's a bar.
Large door that read, Mind Control for... Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Don't worry, it's fine. I have the bucket with
The
me,
door
so it
behind
should
them
be
was
fine.
not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around
We're
and
fine,
get back
okay?
on track.
We are okay.
At this point,
Fine.
Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Whoop-ow. Me and my bucket. I have my bucket with me, I'm fine. I'm fine, I have my bucket with me.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
Yep.
Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
What about Stanley?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent
That's such a bigger
bucket.
door.
It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way,
Why is there
but this one
3
stood
doors?
above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Wait. No, my bucket! The bucket, welcome to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. The human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? Interesting. I thought that was the bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own?
No!
Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which was in the medieval era, was so powerful that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control the bucket. No. Cave drawing. While we knew that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of a bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Okay.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
What the frick? The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. Oh, I thought it was good. The bucket is mine!
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible
save
wrong.
the bucket.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I don't want the bucket anymore.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally.
What the
This is
frick?
great, he thought. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Yep, perfectly fine.
Stanley
Else, the cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
No!
There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this
Where
bucket
else?
was...
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
You're getting
Yes.
close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the FIGUREANLURINES. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the
Yes.
sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no FIGUREANLURINES. None of us can.
What the heck are FIGUREANLURINES? What are those?
Sure of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look,
There it
let me
is.
prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Yes.
And there it is. The last
Oh, yeah, I just had to get rid of the
Wiggly.
bucket.
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
Yes.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing
Yes.
it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements,
Oh.
you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So,
What?
instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell
Okay.
you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Actually, I already did all.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Actually, I never walked through the red door. We'll see what happens if I do that.
Oh, thank God you are willing
But,
to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy
probably
all
gonna
this
end
time?
it after this, guys.
The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What are we looking for?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
Okay.
I actually feel happy.
Oh. Oh.
No,
Wait.
wait. Where are you going?
Oh, it's taking too long.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll
Really?
lose all of this.
Interesting.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No!
Oh, wow. I did it immediately.
Oh, thank God. You lived. No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Ah.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
No!
Can you do that for me?
No!
My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to
I
kill
couldn't
yourself
take my
to keep me
bucket
from
into
being
this room.
happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it.
Oh
I don't
my
know
gosh.
anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
Death, I
Well,
guess,
this
right
one
now.
is yours.
Wow, I am so slow. Well,
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers.
frick.
I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life?
Dude.
Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay. We're going back here. When Stanley found the collectibles. What the frick?
Here's where it all began.
Yeah, I
The
guess.
first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain?
Because
We
it
were
said
so
6.
innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
What the heck?
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of
Why
mundane,
am I just-
unremarkable ways.
What is happening?
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Oh, the third one. The third one. No, fourth. Well, fourth. Third one. Ah, I don't remember. This bathroom. Bathroom, boss's office. Should be boss's office. What the frick?
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then
Yes,
after
it
that,
was.
you had 3 of them. I'm glad
do
these
remember
moments are
this.
so crystal clear in your
I do
memory,
remember
but
that,
I
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah.
be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
What do you mean by that?
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a figly in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's
Oh,
here in the
damn.
memory zone, so it
No.
must have happened.
No, it didn't. It didn't. That did not happen.
This was the fifth mini-stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy. Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Oh, there's a vent. I even grabbed the other one because, like, we didn't grab it in a pink room. You got me.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Except for the pink room. What the frick?
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment.
Except
nothing
that one
left
I
to
left
do
in
but
the pink
move
room.
onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how
What?
that feels.
Wow.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
What the frick?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Oh my gosh!
Yes, I love that video. Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
What is happening?
These
I don't
really
know
were
what's
a treat to
happening.
hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
What? Can I go under the stairs? No, I cannot. I cannot go under the stairs. What is happening? I wanted to actually get the
This was our
trophy.
second
from the
figure. Don't you
game.
remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to
Exit.
keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
The jump.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I
So let's
remember
give me the
hating it
jumps.
back then, but time does put a rosy filter
Yeah,
on
that was
everything.
actually like
In fact,
an hour
I dare
ago.
say I'm actually quite fond. Oh yes, the two dwarfs. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
We'll go. I guess we're okay.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
What the frick?